Fuck, what is the gradient? I mean, well, the gradient is the slope of the loss landscape at the... Hey boys and girls, welcome back. Oh, I forgot to get some music on. That's what I was forgetting. Sitting on the waiting screen being like, what am I forgetting? It's the music. That's what I was forgetting. Good morning, everybody. It's ridiculously early for me. Ooh, that's loud. I apologize. I apologize for the loud. I guess I may as well also get the TTS system running. I don't know if anyone will pay us a visit, but we may as well get the system on. Let's see here. Chat reader Zonos. You know, in the last stream, Zonos was... the TTS system was going off. I'm learning calculus for ML, and I need some help shoring up my weaknesses. So I'm great at applying calculus. I just don't actually understand any of the analytical solutions to anything, notation, or underlying theory. This is just the description for human consumption. This should be... there we go. Today's goal is to get me to the point where I can fully understand and implement gradient descent. Gradient descent. I guess, yeah, that's the prompt. Let's go. Great goal. Gradient descent is one of those beautiful algorithms. Where math and code mirror each other nicely, so you're already comfortable applying calculus and code. We have a solid foundation to work from. Let me start by understanding where you are. When you've used gradient descent in your ML work, what does the code typically do? For example, have you written something like weights equals weights minus learning rate times gradient? If so, tell me, what do you understand the gradient represents in practical terms? Why do you think we subtract instead of adding it? Right. The gradient in that equation represents one way I can think to explain it is that the gradient represents how the weights need to change in order to make the model produce an inference that is closer to the ground truth label in the data set given the matching input from the training set. Oh. Fuck, what am I taking the derivative of? Okay. You said the gradient represents how the weights need to change to make the model closer to the ground truth. That's close. But let me ask you this. If the gradient directly told us how to change the weights to get closer to the truth, why would we subtract it? Because what's the relationship between the gradient and the loss function? Well, the gradient is the derivative of... Fuck, what is the gradient? I mean, well, the gradient is the slope of the loss landscape at the... That's not correct. The gradient is... It's not the derivative of the loss function, right? It's the derivative of the inference function. Isn't it? Am I completely off base here? Oh, okay, this is a super common point of confusion. I'm glad you brought it up. You're actually really close to something important. Let's untangle this. The gradient in gradient descent is the derivative of the loss function. Okay, we subtract it because traditionally we define our loss function so lower is better. If you, for some reason, decided to define your loss function so that higher is better, you would want to add the gradient, right? Here's the simplest version. If you have a chain of operations, the chain rule says the rate of change through the whole chain is the product of the rates of change at each step. I'll give you a concrete example. Say we have x equals 3, y equals x squared, so y equals 9, z equals 2y, so z equals 18. So now how does z change when we wiggle x? How does y change when x changes? dy over dx equals 2x equals 6. Derivative of x squared. Yeah. How does z change when y changes? dz over dy equals 2. Derivative of 2y. Yeah, so the derivative of x squared is 2x. Yeah. And the derivative of 2y is just 2. Because in an exponential, you can imagine that exponential curve, the derivative of x goes up the higher x is. If it's linear, then it doesn't. It's just linear. It changes the same amount every time you increase it. Almost. Okay. Shit. I don't remember. I don't know. Derivative of x squared is 2x. Oh? Shit, I don't know. I feel like it may be important that he told me the derivative of x squared is 2x to the 1. Is the derivative of x squared cubed 2x squared? Because cubing something makes it change, like it makes it more exponential. You can imagine, you know, that parabola getting tighter around the y-axis. So it seems like if I just continue the pattern that it would be 3x to the 2. Bingo, that's exactly right. Bingo! The power rule is derivative of x to the n is n x to the n minus 1. Okay. You bring the exponent down as a coefficient and you reduce the exponent by 1. So x to the 1 is x, 1x to the 0 is 1. X to the 2 is 2x to the 1 equals 2x. X to the 3 is 3x to the 2 equals 3x to the 2. X to the 100 is 100x to the 99. Okay. But why? That's the thing. I don't get why, so I won't remember it. I don't have the intuition. Shit. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me actually get it right. Or, well, 2a to the 2 times 1, or just 2 to the 2. Shit. No, it's 3. It's 3. It is 3. Okay, no. I'm getting tired already. We're half an hour in. Right, no, shit. Claude, sorry. I fucked up, sorry. 3a to the 2. Perfect. Okay. Now here's the big connection in neural networks. In your MNIST code, you had something like input, layer 1, layer 2, output, loss. When backprop computes the gradient of the loss with respect to a weight in layer 1, it's doing exactly what we just did, using the chain rule to multiply derivatives backwards through the chain. D of loss over D of weight in layer 1 equals D of loss over D of output times D of output over D of layer 2. This is why it's called backpropagation. We compute derivatives backwards from the loss to the weights, multiplying as we go. Well, I already knew all that, although I didn't. Okay, it's good to shore up the power rule thing. Okay. This is why, yeah. So in a neural network with 10 layers, roughly how many derivatives do you think we'd need to multiply together to get the gradient for a weight in the first layer? In the first layer? 10, right? 11? Why do we have that learning rate multiplier? Why not just weights equals weights minus gradient? Here's a hint. Remember when I said the derivative tells you how much loss changes for a small step in weight? Think about what happens if you're on a curved surface. The derivative tells you to slope right where you are. If you take a huge step, you might overshoot the minimum, end up somewhere where the slope is completely different, even bounce uphill on the other side. Based on this, what do you think the learning rate is controlling? Why might we want it to be a small number? Having too high a learning rate might jump over the trough that we're hoping we math. Derivatives measure rate of change. Power rule. D over dx of x of n equals n times x to the n minus 1. Chain rule. Multiply derivatives through the chain. Gradient equal vector of all derivatives. Negative gradient equals direction of steepest descent. Final challenge. Could you now sketch out in pseudocode or explanation how you'd implement gradient descent from scratch for a simple function like x equals x squared without using autograd? Absolutely perfect. You've got it. Let's write it out explicitly. X equals 10. Learning rate equals 0.1. Step in range 100. Gradient equals 2x. X equals x minus learning rate times gradient. Loss equals x squared. Print step We can run this in our head, or we could actually run it. I don't feel like it. Run this in your head. X starts at 10, gradient is 20, so we would subtract 2, making x equals 8. Then gradient is 16, subtract 1.6, making x equals 6.4, and it keeps shrinking towards 0. You've now learned everything you need to understand gradient descent. The beautiful thing is, your MNIST code from scratch was doing exactly the same process, just with thousands of weights instead of 1. So I get that. I kinda already understood that, but yeah, that was a good warm-up. Okay, I think we can call this session basically done. This was a shorter one, but to be honest, I'm a little exhausted already. So yeah, we'll call this here. I appreciate everyone who stopped in to view this for a little bit. I'm not sure how interesting this is for you guys. Honestly, this is mostly for me, and streaming it is to force me to focus on it. But if you did watch this, I appreciate you. Comment in the comment section below. Tell me how you enjoyed this content. But yeah, if you care to watch this, come back and watch it. If you don't care to watch it, you don't have to. We'll be streaming Control-Alt-Ego in just under 12 hours, and that'll just be a fun gaming stream tonight. So I will see you all there, but until then, goodbye. I'll see you all next time.